Hello there, I'm your host, Rob Liefield's Thick Boy Captain America, and this is Last Week on the Internet. Zack Snyder's Justice League had its trailer taken off of the Warner Brothers YouTube channel this week. The unofficial story was that this was due to a copyright strike against the music used in the trailer, even though every Warner Brothers published trailer uses copywritten music. In order to ease the confusion of fans, Warner Brothers just straight up removed Zack Snyder's Justice League from HBO Max Europe altogether the very next day. This comes just weeks after Warner Brothers told a documentarian that it asked for footage of Zack's Justice League, that there was only one Justice League, and it was released in 2017. That's not a joke quote. The studio is actually that fucking petty. There's no word on whether or not Zack's totally real BFF forever, James Gunn, will do anything to rectify the situation, being the CEO of DC Studios and all, since he's very busy hiring 6 new superheroes for a Superman quote-unquote solo movie, and ignoring the ongoing actor and writer strikes. Don't worry though, DC isn't the only company that hates its fans. Marvel just finished a Punisher storyline where Frank Castle's wife returned from the dead to shoot and divorce him. The company's now teasing a brand new Punisher, which will take Frank's place. We can only assume that this street-level vigilante will end his or her story by having their parents show up to tell them that they never loved them, and then spitting in their face. Don't worry, as Marvel will almost certainly bring Frankie Boy back to town after Jon Bernthal reignites fan passion on the new Daredevil Disney Plus series. Or maybe She-Hulk will just prosecute Frank and send him to jail for not being marketable enough to angry Kotaku bloggers. Meanwhile, in the world of video games, Call of Duty's new anti-cheat feature might be the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen. The game will place phantom soldiers on the battlefield for cheaters to fight, giving away their location and making them look insane, firing at enemies that aren't there. This arguably gives the first-person military shooter the most realistic military experience. Call of Duty's new PTSD simulator is expected to roll out to servers later this month. Members of the Real True DC fandom have recently announced a coalition they're forming to combat the damage that Zack Snyder did to DC. The group aims to spread awareness to how wrongly Zack Snyder portrayed their favorite characters and heroes in the DCEU. This is of course meaning General Zod, that rapey trucker from Man of Steel that was grabbing the waitress's ass, the war criminals Lex hired to frame Superman for murder in Africa, as well as kill Martha Kent, and the self-proclaimed radicalized terror group Wonder Woman stopped from blowing up 6 city blocks and an entire visiting school of all girls. The new group will protect fascists, aliens, rapists, and terrorists. They're calling themselves FART for short. If there's one thing real DC fans love more than showing up to support DC movies, it's farting. That's right, that entire story was a setup for a dumb fart joke. On the topic of stupid shit, Disney's Bob Iger and Warner Brothers' David Zaslav have gone on record saying they won't pay writers or actors fairly and have every intention of using the works of those people without their consent or pay to create new AI actors and scripts on the cheap. The 2 studio heads declared that their plan to make their workers homeless was a, quote, cruel but necessary evil. Ron Perlman had his own opinion on the studio trying to starve its workers to death.
The motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, motherfucker. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the fuck said that. And we know who said that. And where he fucking lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing? Be careful, motherfucker. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up. Peace out.
This has been your week on the internet. Come back next week to see all of the insane stuff you somehow survived. We're all very, very proud of you.